Hello everybody and welcome to the Action Figuratorium. What do you think of the new summer look? Don't answer. Don't answer, people, because I know you love it. All right. Too much production. Get rid of the lower third. What are we going to be talking about today? We're going to be talking about the Biblical Adventures Kickstarter. This is something I covered 101 years ago. I was a backer, and recently I got my toy. So we're going to do my little thing where we go, was it worth the wait? Of course, I'm going to go back and I'm going to pull up the Kickstarter page and we're going to go through what the offering was to sort of make this more than just like another cliche unboxing video, because I don't think anybody wants that. But let's look at the Kickstarter and then let's go over to the bench. You can see it there, the one figure I bought, and I'll get into that in a bit. And we're going to open it up. I have not cracked the seal. Literally, it has a seal, people, and not the flipper kind. But we're going to take a look and just see exactly if it is worth the wait or not. So everybody come together, strap on the biblical leather. I'm talking about sword and sandal, people, and hold on tight. All right, we should probably switch over to desktop cam. And when we do it, let's have some kind of magic transition, shall we? Here we go. All right. This is so much fun, isn't it? Biblical Adventures. Look, it says right here, you backed this project. That's right, people. I'm a backer. I put money into this. My money into this. Biblical Adventures, fully funded, fully unlocked. This is actually done by a cat named Chris Garwich. He works for the Four Horsemen. He's actually the liaison between their company and the Chinese factory or factories that makes their product. He has worked for several other toy companies before the Four Horsemen. I believe he worked for NECA. He is a type of, I wouldn't necessarily call him a toy designer per se, but he's definitely a type of a toy guru himself. He knows how to make a line and run a line and market things. He is his own business, D13 Toys. He's kind of a one-man band, and let me tell you, he's good at what he does. And if you ever have watched my Kickstarter analysis on this channel, if I tell you that a particular Kickstarter has Chris working with them, you know, without a doubt, you will get your toys, okay? That is the type of faith that you can have if Chris is working with a company, and it goes for his own company because I got the toy. It's back there. So what was the Biblical Adventures? It's these kind of 6-inch, you know, sort of a buck body with soft goods and different heads based upon biblical characters. However, slight twist, and this is the twist that I kind of like about this. The twist is this, is that a lot of these biblical characters that he shows you, like a Jesus and a John the Baptist and I think it's like a Saint Michael statue or something like that, they're actually really based upon famous pieces of art. These are really art history action figures. And what's interesting is that you might think, well, okay, is this the only guy who's ever like taken art and made some sort of like action figures out of them? No, there's a line that Figma does, like a museum line, where they do exactly that. And from the various toy collectors out there, the thoughts on Figma is weird. However, I wouldn't mind having them. It's just that they're overpriced by like quadruple amount. So let's look at some of the figures he was offering. There's this Jesus Christ based on this painting. There's this Jesus Christ based on this painting. There's this John the Baptist, just a concept. He's really just could be a generic barbarian in your horde if you really wanted. This Saint Michael statue is kind of cool. This, just a generic angel builder. He ran out of art history pieces to make characters, so he started doing angels and demons. Angels and demons sells across the board. It doesn't even have to, you can just shoehorn it into anything, you know? In Gotham City, hey, there's a demon attacking. He got out of Arkham Asylum. Whatever, it all works. And those 6 are book 1. You know, that's his way of saying wave 1, series 1. He's got some demon 2-packs. He's got some weapon sets, you know, medieval weapons, sword and sandal, that kind of thing. Then we've got the same Jesus buck, but translucent, and there's some extra little things that come, little tchotchkes that he was making. So we get book 2, and you can see it's more Jesuses and more demons and more angels and more biblical characters come to life. I think you kind of get the idea. They're all sort of based on a lot of artwork or a lot of just concepts. Yeah, see, based on another piece of artwork. You get just like an old Moses, because you can always make a Moses character. In fact, check out my video on the accoutrements action figure lines. They have a Moses, and I own it. I own it, and I've made videos with him. He's a wise old owl. So, Series 2, you can see it's more of this stuff. Of course, he did some, you know, this kind of things, these sort of religious, ceremonial action figure props that are kind of cool. Book 3, more of the same sort of stuff. Demons, angels, Jesuses, artwork. You know, it's pretty fleshed out. He just kept going and going and going and going. There's a book 3. Yeah, see, you get this if you want to put this with your Gene Simmons action figure. And I think he got up to wave 4, book 4. Yeah, here we go. We got more 2-packs of grotesque demons and some more Mosai and some more Jezai and, you know, this kind of altar of burnt offerings. And I think there's a lost ark. Yeah, there's a lost ark. That's probably pretty cool. You should probably get that to go with your SH Figure Arts Indiana Jones 1/12 scale. So that's basically it. I think you guys get the picture. If you missed out on this, no doubt he's smart enough working the Four Horsemen to know that he's going to make a bunch more with the money he got. He's not going to pocket the money. He's going to make more figures. He's going to take those figures and he's going to put them for sale, maybe direct on his website, and maybe have some for sale in Big Bad Toy Store. He'll also take them to conventions. He'll have his own booth. He'll have them for sale there. That is the money. That is all the profit he's going to make off those guys selling those figures. So if you missed out on any of these figures, and it looks like he made quite a bit, you can still get them. Trust me, you will still be able to get them. All right, so what was it that I bought, and what should we go check it out? So originally, when this thing launched, I was going to buy, believe it or not, I was going to buy this guy because I love doing these, taking action figures and giving them the sort of, the copper statue look that's sort of patinaed and is starting to turn sort of, you know, it goes from copper color to this blue to eventually dark, especially on the top of it where it's like, you know, moisture and rain hits it. And I love doing those. I put those in my Etsy shops. Anytime I get like some junk figures, I like to repaint them, Jar Jar Binks and stuff like that, make them into statues. So I thought this was pretty cool. So I originally ordered this guy, and he had his 6-inch buck for sale. And I don't remember exactly how much they were for him, 15, 20 bucks, but I ordered a couple bucks. Well, several of these waves unlocked, and I decided instead to not get either one of those. To skip that, and that instead I would get the young Moses figure. Why? Because I love Egyptian shtick. I have got tons of Egyptian stuff. I've got those 2 gods of Egypt from the Four Horsemen. I have got both NECA Iron Maiden Eddies. One is the mummy, one is the mummy pharaoh. I have a Betty Page as Cleopatra. Right? I have so much Egyptian shtick. I've got Egyptian play sets from Imaginext and some of the figures that go with it. I've got various other mummy action figures from that Mummies cartoon. I forget exactly what it was called. It's probably called Mummies or something like that. I think Kenner made them. I don't know. They're just like in a tub somewhere. So I get this, right? And I think Moses as like the pharaoh look, I think that's a cool thing. And that's actually what I ended up getting. I switched my order around and got just that. and we're going to go take a look at it right now. We're going to open it up and we're going to see if it was worth the wait. So let's switch over to, I'm going to go over there to the bench. You can see it, and follow along, people. Here we go. And let's turn on one of my fancy lights, / not fancy. Now this piece came in a box, and it was wrapped in this, I thought I would show you for effect, wrapped in this really nice kind of very light wrapping paper, almost kind of like a Kleenex, but you had to destroy it. Now it does have the seal on it, and it's just a piece of paper that goes around, but you cannot, as far as I can tell, you cannot, well, maybe you can slide it off. I was thinking I was going to have to cut this, so I actually brought a device, you know. When you bring a device, you're there to win. But let's see if we can get this off. He does have a barcode on it. He does have a choking hazard warning. It's pretty slick. This guy knows how to make toys, man. He runs with a crew of guys, and I'm sure, you know, he's had input and help from co-workers at the Four Horsemen along the way. I'm sure that at any given point. But does he really need it? I think he's a smart cat. I think Chris Garwich is on top and knows what he's doing most of the time. I can almost get this off without breaking it. Why is it so important to not rip this? Well, I'm not sure. Other than the fact that once you have ripped this, you cannot go back. You cannot go back, people. But we're at a point where I don't know that I can get this any further without some kind of damage to it. So what do you think? What does one think? Am I supposed to steam this too? By the way, I'm looking forward to not warming this up with a blow dryer and having one of the joints break. I think that's my favorite thing with action figures and toys, is breaking them. All right, this is a painful extraction process. I don't know why we went through this, but there it is, people. Okay, look, it's book 3, and opens up. Now this is actually kind of what the old Origins Ultima 4 game book looked like. So that's kind of cool. You get a little biblical adventures. You open it up, and there's the dude. And I assume that this box within a box just pops out. Let's find out. There we go. Slides out. Oh, look at this. Look what's in the... Can you guys see this? It's like a stained glass thing. It's just a sticker, but it exists. Okay. Don't eat this, people. 30 bucks. 30 bucks. Some say too much. Others say not enough. Some people are probably saying you should have paid 40 bucks. Now, what Chris did with the tariff situation was he just charged everybody an extra buck on their shipping. And it's not obviously going to make up for it, but it's going to eat away at it a little bit. And then a bunch of people just kind of kicked in and donated. And I don't know if he ever made his full tariff money back, if he broke even on that. I bet you he didn't. But it kind of softened the blow, and it kind of told people, or told him, that, you know, people care and they don't want anybody to get hurt. I'm doing the twist ties right now, by the way, which okay, here's kind of cool. For 30 bucks you get this stand, which I guess everyone probably gets the same stand because, you know, it's affordable. We get some cool staves, which I think I could use for my wizards. He also comes with some extra hands. There's one, looked like it was missing. It's just loose. There is some excitement up ahead here, people. There is this weird, I guess it's a burning bush. And maybe you could put a little tea light behind it. That might be kind of cool. I don't know. What do you guys think of the burning bush? Don't answer. It's part of my summer look. Okay. So, this is it. It feels pretty good for a naked man Look, he's got the, you know, I think I probably should have taken out the Cleopatra before I took him out. But maybe we'll stick that in a thumbnail. We're going to have to go to the stand, though, because he's got that, like, I'm an action figure and I've been living in a box for 100 years. So I do need to warm it up, though, before I push the joints. He's sort of leaning back, and before I can move him, he needs to be heated. But it looks pretty good. I mean, I might even just give him a little bit of a soaking, a hot water soaking. No underwear. So this is kind of a cool but cheap sort of soft goods that he did. And I really like this headdress. This thing is great. And I guess you get some extra heads. And there's a couple different looks. They both look like Christian Bale, but from different movies. But I think the headdress and the little, you know, that thing. But if anything, you know, I can just pop the head and the garment, and I've got that buck that I wanted to buy with this dude, right? I think we'll move the cam up a little bit. So, not entirely terrible. Not entirely terrible. And, you know, one of the feet has sandals on it. I guess that's good. And there's this thing. Does anybody know what this is? This weird glowy thing? Or translucent thing? Is it supposed to be like a halo or something? Where does this go? What is this? I'm gonna look this up. It's good to have this staff, and there's a hand that can hold it. And this is very Egyptian and cool looking. Whoa! So this can get used with your Mythic Legions. Gods of Egypt figures can use this. I think this guy with the Gods of Egypt, I think that's going to be a shoot. I think this dude and flanked by the two guys, I think that's the perfect sort of, and they're probably on Instagram already, but I think that's the perfect shoot to do. And if you guys missed out on Moses, young Pharaoh Moses from D13 Toys, trust me, you can get him. You can get this guy. He's going to be available. It's probably going to go fast once people start seeing photos of him out in the wild, especially if people don't know who he is. But for the most part, I really like the buck and the articulation. It looks really clean. It looks really well done. It looks very simple. Like the paint scheme on it, like I like that it's cranked out. You know what I mean? I don't see a whole lot of tones on the skin. They're real subtle if they're there. He does have a little thing in the back for you to mount something. And I don't know what that is, other than maybe it's compatible with the wings or shields or something else, or maybe it's actually compatible with the back pieces for the Mythic Legions figures. Not sure, and pretty sure that there'll probably be people who are selling just the heads, right, because they really don't care, and some people buy stuff just to part it out. Some people are selling just the body, maybe just the clothes, maybe just the accessories, maybe just this. I mean, if I could get $5 for this, that would take my purchase down to $25, that kind of thing. And who knows, maybe I get money for the box. Don't know. But was it worth the wait? Well, I have to tell you guys that because, you know, I just got the one guy, the Moses. I wasn't waiting for all these 20 figures or anything like that, and so I don't, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah, it wasn't really a big deal. It's just kind of a nice, pleasant surprise. Sometimes, have to admit, when I finally get my reward after 2 years of sitting on a pre-order or some Kickstarter, when you get it in hand and you're looking at it and you're like, I paid $60 for this? Really? Why would I do that? Why would I pay $60 for this thing? Or why would I pay $30 for this? Or why did I pay $45 for this? And I won't even take it out of the package. I just sit on it and go, I'm going to throw it up on eBay and get my money back and put it into something I want. And it's usually something used back off of eBay. So, I don't know. I'm going to say that this gets an A+ from me in terms of the execution of the figure itself. I'm going to give the amount of time it took to get it to us. I'm going to have to give it a B- because I think this thing was promised back in 2024 and we're already into May, which is the 5th month, and we're almost up to the 6th month, which is halfway through the year. And I know it's a quarterly thing and whatnot, but you know, what I want you to take away is that if you back a Kickstarter or if you put into some of these pre-orders and they tell you it's going to be due at this date, it's not. Tack on another 6-7 months, even another year for this stuff. And it may influence whether or not you actually back some of these things going forward, because you think in 2 years from now, I might be a totally different person. I might be into something totally different. I may not even want this. In which case, maybe you sell it to someone else who's now a totally different person. That's my take. So thanks to everybody who made it this far into the video. You're very much appreciated. And as always, people, besides the liking, the subscribing, which goes without saying, it is YouTube, stay charged. Stay charged.